Hi, my name is Eva Judge and I'm from Affordable Staff, and in this short video I'm having a chat to Alana White from Remax Extreme in Perth, WA. And yeah, basically welcome Alana.
Thanks.
Thank you. So I guess we're talking about outsourcing, and one of the key questions that I'd like to ask Alana is I guess why did you choose to outsource in the first place?
Yeah, sure. I suppose probably the biggest thing for me was identifying sort of tasks within the property management industry that were really administration based that the property managers would love if they didn't have to do, so that they could sort of get out there and do the things out in the field. So just identified so many of those and thought, it's really hard here to find people passionate about doing those sorts of jobs as well.
Well, it can be tedious and boring, and
repetitive and things like that. So that was probably what drove us to think, I wonder if outsourcing, we'd heard about people doing it, would be something we should try. So that's sort of kicked us off.
So how did you get into the whole thing? Tell me about your process, I guess.
So we started looking for how to do it,
and
really came across those sites like freelancer.com, or where you go and employ somebody, working from their house or something like that. So we had a little play around with that, probably not very successfully. It was a little bit tricky, and it wasn't sort of after too long that I realised if I was sort of serious about doing it, that I needed to partner with a company that I could trust and that I knew sort of understood how it worked when you're employing people in different countries, and the rules and regulations and pay and all of that sort of stuff. So
it can be tricky, a bit of a minefield.
So that's kind of where we then went from there to saying, okay, we need to find a reputable company to deal with.
Right. So you mentioned the word trust just a moment ago. So why is trust such an important factor to you in your business?
Yeah, a few things. Probably firstly, the information that you need to give access to enable somebody to help you out with your business. Access to CRMs and things like that. So obviously you don't want to be in a situation where somebody just takes that away with them.
No.
So some controls around that, which is really difficult if the people aren't here.
Yes. But I guess even in that, you've got to have controls here as well. So
So trying to make sure that was protected, I think was really important. So trying to find somebody that cared about that as well with employing people was really important to us.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And it is a big factor, absolutely. So I guess obviously we tick those boxes for you. So is there any other reasons why you chose to go with Affordable Staff versus any other, supplier out there? Or?
Yeah, so I'd actually had, obviously as I mentioned, gone direct to freelancers to start with, and I'd also tried another outsourcing company. For a little while, I really tried to persevere with it and kind of nearly lost faith, to be honest, because I found a lot of staff turnover and I just wasn't sure what was going on over there. And if you've got people as part of your team, you want to make sure that they're looked after and they're
going to stick around.
Yeah, exactly, because otherwise it's really difficult as well. To replace them. So we did try the companies, and then I'd really had enough, and it was another one of your clients actually who I'd ran into at a conference, and she'd mentioned to me that she was having a wonderful experience and things like that. So I thought, right, I'm going to grab that company name and I'm going to give them a call.
Give it another go.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the experience has been completely different. It's been amazing. I think the way that you guys recruit people, check them out first and make sure that whoever you're putting forward is capable and committed. It's been fantastic.
Great, fantastic. And I guess in that regard, have you found any limitations with working with the outsourced staff?
Probably the time that you still need to put it into it, I think. I think some people feel, or initially you might feel like, I'll just outsource all those tasks. That'll be easy.
But then you go, oh, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Do I have a process in place for it?
Exactly. So, but once that's all set up, so that was probably the biggest thing, the amount of time it takes to kind of get yourself ready.
Yes.
But then once you've done that, then you're good to go. So limitations wise really just comes down now to our processes and how we can set them up to outsource it.
Right. And how have your team, I guess here in the office, found it working with the outsourced team members?
Yeah, really good. So we have, we'll put them up on the screen and have some chats here and there when we have a team meeting. And look, I think they really appreciate the fact that...
So you've got 3 team members over there, so you actually have them here in a boardroom and talking to them?
Yeah, we've had meetings with them so that the property managers kind of know who they are and that sort of thing, and they know the tasks that they help us out with. which the property managers love because it saves them doing those
That's right.
really tedious, repetitive tasks. So they really appreciate the work that the guys do there.
On that point, did you have initially any resistance from your local team thinking that their jobs might be potentially in jeopardy? How did you
Yeah, definitely
deal with that?
and it was a thing even for myself. I was trying to like, how do I kind of get around this and explain it in what I really feel is the truth, and
Yes.
and that it is a benefit to them as well. And I think at the end of the day, what we like to try to do is property management's such a stressful industry,
It is.
and you hear all the time about how stressed out property managers are.
Yeah.
So for us, you can never replace a property manager's role. You just can't. But what you can do is actually help them with some more support.
Has that made a significant, actual difference in your business? Because I can't pronounce what's significant right now. Has the stress levels in your office reduced since you've been outsourcing?
I think definitely. I think the enjoyment for the role has increased
Great.
because you have less of that stuff that, let's be honest, most property managers don't love sitting in front of a computer doing that side of it. So for us, it was about just trying to help them. It's never going to jeopardise their job. There's no way that you can outsource what they do, but you certainly can help with the administration side of it quite easily.
So, yeah. And do they engage themselves directly, or do you mostly deal with the outsourced team members?
We're really task based,
Yes.
so they do this, you do this. It's kind of really quite organised like that.
Yes. But you've got a very organised team over there as well. So
yeah. So it's
that
all
works
kind of
well.
like that. So they do communicate definitely if they've got questions on certain things, like if they're checking tenancy applications, for example, and the property manager wants to query something further, they definitely have direct
And that was
contact.
actually my question. Do they have direct contact? Beautiful, fantastic. All right. So I guess looking overall at the bigger picture, what differences has outsourcing made for your business?
I think it makes our business a better place to work if you're a property manager, for sure. Once you get your head around it and don't think it's taking your job, which it's not, I definitely think it does that. Yeah, and I think it just means that we can be more customer service focused to our clients as well. So the level of communication has increased massively. Because the property managers aren't here all the time, so they can't be sending that updates all the time. Whereas the admin assistants can do that; they're in the office the whole day. So
Fantastic.
we've definitely increased client.
So the admin
communication.
assistants have more time to do those touch points. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not out doing inspections or final bonds and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Beautiful, fantastic. And I guess one final question that I have for you is, if you were to give any advice to anyone who's considering outsourcing, because you've gone through the hard yards yourself, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think definitely it's kind of like when you get a landlord who wants to come to you and says, what are your fees?
Yes.
And they always want to go with the cheapest person.
Yes.
And for me, I think it's absolutely the wrong decision to do that with outsourcing, because you can go to a really, really good company that with the outsourcing and the way it works, it's not going to cost you a fortune.
Yes.
And get security and trust and good staff members, as opposed to going and finding the cheapest company that you don't know if they're following the regulations and all that
They're working
sort of
from
stuff.
home, you don't even know that.
Yeah, you don't know where they're like, there's got to be a fair bit of that. So that's probably the biggest thing. If I had my time over again, I would have sought out like a really reputable company, and from referrals, rather than going, all right, I'm going to go and have a look and this person charges that, and just trying different things out. So I'd go straight for the people that specialise in doing it right.
Excellent, fantastic. All right, well, thank you so much, Alana, for coming on our show, I guess, and having a chat with us. And of course, if you've got any questions about outsourcing, please go to our website, www.affordablestuff.com.au, and hope to speak to you soon. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.